because that's the only way that you're really going to have a productive, abundant type environment around you, is to be engaged and to pursue and to, as you said, Vince, open it up to the universe and allow things to get to manifest in your direction. But that's a mindset shift for a lot of people because of that state of scarcity and lack. So it's always interesting how sometimes we just need to trust and say, let's reinvest in whatever it might be. And I'm using money as an example because people can relate to that. But in this forum, one of the things I think we all do is reinvest in ourselves from a growth standpoint, right? Helping make you better, make you more whole. And that's also something I think we all need to be focused to and be realistic about, is taking the time to reinvest in yourself so that you can be more holistic, more real, more grounded, more authentic. And Bridget, I'm going to come to you with that because I know that's something we have talked about a lot, and that's the authenticity piece. And with this, why is that important when you talk about an abundance mindset and being authentic?
Well, when I heard when I was reading the notes and thought about abundance, abundance is in the hand of the beholder,
Correct.
basically. And for me, and as I said at the beginning, I always felt like I had enough because I knew what to do with what I had, right? And so, in terms of a growth mindset and me in abundance, it just keeps growing because I keep experiencing these times in my life where things shift, and so I've always had to look at what was that lesson. It's always a lesson. My son passed away 4 months ago. 4 months ago, my oldest son, and for the 3 months before he passed away, he was in the hospital, and I had to ask every day, what is the lesson in this? Because I didn't want to miss it. I feel like in my 20s and in my 30s, I missed a lot of lessons. And just like in school, if you don't get it, you have to repeat it. And so I had to repeat it. And so I didn't want to miss the lessons in any of this. And so every day, instead of being sad or whatever everybody else was doing, because I felt like I was on a spotlight because everybody was watching me and how I moved, because I moved pretty much like moved before that, and pretty much how I move now, and that's out of a place of peace, out of a place of happiness, out of a place of I don't know. You probably, Brian, can describe my personality, and I never changed, and that was because I was always focused on what's the lesson in this, because I knew it was something. I knew it was something. And so when all of that happened and I had to go back and review what we do, and I guess I take everything from a teacher standpoint. I had to go back and review what it was that I learned. Um, I still saw the abundance of that. I mean, it was some things, some little nuggets dropped the whole time. And so my life has always been about what I have and what I can do with what I have. And so I never saw lack, even when people saw, poor Bridget, what is she doing with all those kids, and how is she making it? And she's moving from place to place to place to place, and she's, having to, not go to school and then go back to school and graduate in college at 50 or 48 and with your master's, and then you start to then I got into my profession, which I am an educator at 50. And so, all these things that people looked at as, lack, I looked at it as lessons and abundance of resources and abundance of knowledge now and wisdom, even that I have had to depart into young women and young ladies. So I can describe abundance in a lot of different ways, a lot of different ways. And I live in a way that nobody really probably understands, because it's a day to day thing, and it's an exciting thing. And people always ask me, are you sure you're okay? Because I think some people think I'm kind of crazy. Um, are you sure you're okay? Because you just seem so happy, or are you just like this on social media, and then you go in your room and crash? And I had to start asking myself, am I okay? and start to say some things out loud, because sometimes people around you can make you feel a certain way and make you feel like you don't have enough, or make you feel like you have too much, or make you feel like you're way down. And I had to ask myself, but I was okay, and all the lessons that I learned, I was writing those things down. And lo and behold, I'm going to run into those times again. It may not be the same situation or the same experience, but it'll require those same lessons that
Yeah,
I learned.
absolutely. No, that's a very true thing. Bridget, you and I have talked, and obviously we've known each other for ever and ever. And true, that's Bridget. I mean, it's one of those things. Well, Bridget is being Bridget. So, and that's why I talk about that authenticity piece with you, because you are definitely one of the most authentic, consistently authentic people that I know. And that's a compliment, because in this world with so much going on, and when Brandon was in the hospital and we talked, and it's like, how you doing? And she's like, I'm doing the best I can with what I got, as what we just talked about. And but that also all goes back to what we were saying a little while ago about we don't know. We want to know. We want to feel like we know, or feel like we have some control, but we really don't.
That word authentic is so broad, because we were groomed, or I was, or other people that I know were groomed to, you be a certain way at work, then you be a certain way at home, and then you're a certain way at play. But I'm the same, and then a certain way at church. I'm the
Mhm.
same everywhere I go. And so I never thought that would come back around and be like this universal thing now. And so now it's universal, being your authentic self wherever you are. And I was like, man, I knew that was going to catch on one day. I knew it was going to catch on one day, because I was always the same. And people would say, are you like this at home? Are you like this at work? Are you like this at church? And I'm like, if you know me, you know I am the same. I don't change. I'm the same way everywhere I go. And that might have been in the past something maybe that I maybe should have worked on. But had I worked on it and changed my personality in different environments, then I wouldn't know who I was. And then when everybody started to be authentic, then I have to find myself again. So when people started saying, "Oh, I'm authentic now, I found myself," I'm like, "Well, I was already there." I'm just glad everybody else is doing it now.
Sorry, we'll get it right back to the video in just a second. Just wanted to ask a quick question. What's stopping you from living, loving, and leading your best possible life? Do you feel disconnected, out of sync, unsure of really what it is you want to accomplish, what your true purpose is, and where you want to go with your future? Well, the Ascent Coaching Program is here to help. We help you get in sync with your true beliefs, your true understanding, your true values. And from that, we help you transform from the inside out and move yourself towards the life you really want. If that sounds of interest to you, please click the link below. You can schedule a free, no obligation consultation where we'll simply get clear on the things you want to accomplish in life, maybe get a better understanding of why certain things haven't worked the way you feel that they should. And from there, we can move forward to help you become the best possible you can be. Let's get back to the video. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So the other thing I want to talk about is we've kind of talked about it a little bit, but the if versus when, right? And this goes back to time, because I think that's the other factor that plays into this state of lack or scarcity mindset versus abundance mindset. And again, when you're young, you feel invincible. A, B, you feel like you see somebody who's 40 and you go, "Oh my God, you're 40. That's freaking ancient," right? Because you feel like you have so much time. But that clock gets to ticking, and time gets by you pretty faster than you think it will. So I think that's the other important piece of it too, is don't waste the time, whether it's developing yourself, doing the things you want to do in life. Get out, get engaged, set a plan, and understand that might you have to adjust or change, shift the plan. Yes, and don't let that get you down, because things are going to happen. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. There's the unknown pieces that happen to us all. But when we talk about time, like I said, there's the if this happens, this might happen, this could happen. Great, we all know that. But it's that when, which is, as Vince talked about earlier, the day you meet your maker. We don't know when that's going to happen. So live to the fullest as best you can while you have the time. And the other thing you hear people talk about is that I don't have enough time, the lack of time. And again, I think this comes down to mindset, because we all get how many hours in a day? 24. None of us has 27, 30. We all get that same 24 hours in a day. So why is it that some people can seem to do more with that 24 hours versus others who can't? So Vince, I'm gonna kind of pose that question to you, because we've kind of skirted this in the past, just about managing your time. And I know part of that is definitely tied to goals, but then how do you then put a framework together to manage your way through it so you can be productive and efficient?
You know, I think the first and foremost is recognizing I have enough time, or I have more time than I can do. And then the second part of that is really prioritizing what are the things I'm currently doing in my life that are adding value. I think for so much of it is you're just doing it because you've always done it, or you have to do it, or it has to be done this way, or whatnot. And that's a big thing, because now you're actually deciding. It's like Marie Kondo. Does this add value in my life or not? And a lot of that's relationships. Recognizing that are the relationships that are in my life adding value. And so much of it is you know uh, being surrounding myself with people that are supporting unconditionally. So, like with Bridget and her authentic self, are there individuals that are actively supporting? I'm supporting them, they're supporting me. There's no quid pro quo, there's no zero sum mentality where, you know, oh, well, for me to win, you got to lose. So that's a big thing too. And then the last and final one, I think, for me in getting more time out there is asking for support. And that kind of bridges into the surrounding yourself with a community of folks that are supporting you. It's, I think for most of the things that the challenges that arise in my life, I have a choice. I can either stay internal and I can get in my own head and I can think about all the things I coulda, shoulda, woulda. I can be miserable, or I can be like, okay, you know what? This is what's happened. Good, bad, right or wrong. And how long do I want to stay in this? Is it going to be a minute? Is it going to be an hour? Is it going to be a day, a week, a month? and and for me, asking for support is really the big thing. That I would say in the beginning of my personal growth journey, that was a challenging thing. Of course, now you bring in the whole ego. Oh well, I
Mhm.
I should be able to do this myself, or I'd be looked at as a failure or not enough. And then it's just like, no, here's my goal. How I ask for support, I think, is the big thing, and then doing it more and more and more. It's like, okay, I need this done. Here's my goal. Uh, is there anyone in my circle or circle of circles that can support me in achieving this goal? And a lot of times, the goals change.